Let's bring in former Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz. He's also a Fox News contributor. I just first want to address this whole grandfather thing. The fact that the President of the United States has a grandchild and his aides are being told not to acknowledge that he has a seventh grandchild and only to count all six is really horrible. I mean, this little 4-year-old adorable little girl has a grandfather that wants nothing to do with him, and he's a bit of a public figure.
It is disgusting. I mean, there was a court-ordered paternity test, and it was proven that Hunter Biden is the father, which makes Joe Biden the grandfather. And the idea that government bureaucrats would sit around and say, we're going to lie to the American people and tell them that Joe Biden only has 6 grandkids when he actually has 7, and he won't even meet with this young little girl and wants nothing to do with her. That says a lot about the Biden family. It speaks for itself.
No, I mean, it's one thing for Hunter, because, you know, we don't expect much more. But from the president, you do expect much more. Or maybe we shouldn't expect much more. Moving on, Republican Senator Ron Johnson told the DailyMail.com that the link between the prosecutor and Hunter's business associate calls into question the integrity of their entire investigation. I'm not shocked there. But after Hunter essentially received a slap on the wrist, you think this adds to the fears that the president's son may have been handled with kid gloves by the DOJ?
Yes. Senator Johnson is one of the best. He understands his case inside and out. And as was reported in the Daily Mail, you have David Weiss, who's the U.S. attorney who's looking at this. He has 4 people, key people that are his assistants. One of those people, a guy named Derek Hines, Derek Hines, happens to have worked for Louis Freeh. Louis Freeh got a referral by Hunter Biden to get business out of Romania. As a thank you, Louis Freeh wired $100,000 to Joe Biden's grandchildren as a thank you for doing who knows what. And of the 110,000 people at the Department of Justice, he just happened to pick part of the prosecutorial team, somebody who worked and got a benefit via Hunter Biden is also part of the prosecuting team on Hunter Biden. The statute is clear. You cannot do that. You're highly conflicted. And what Senator Johnson is saying, it throws the whole case into question, and he's absolutely 110% right.
So how might revelations like this and others, I guess, in the fallout of the charges impact the investigations in Congress, you think?
Oh, a lot. I think before it's all over, you're going to hear a lot about Louis Freeh, the idea that $100,000 ends up into Joe Biden's grandkids' account, and the email traffic between him and Hunter. This is just but one. That's not talking about China. How about Jeff Cooper? Jeff Cooper is Hunter Biden's business partner. When Joe Biden was the vice president of the United States, he joined him on Air Force Two to go to Mexico. And yet Joe Biden says, I never had a discussion with my son about his business dealings. Then why were they flying on U.S. taxpayer dollars Jeff Cooper, Hunter Biden's business partner, to Mexico to do business? We could go on for hours. They are not doing their job at the Department of Justice, and Republicans in Congress are going to get after it and yank all these people up there and expose it whether they want to or not.
You've got Weiss, who denies actually lashing out at a whistleblower, okay, when the facts are the facts. I mean, the guy was demoted, and obviously it was retaliation. You've got Merrick Garland, who's protecting the whole situation. You've got the President of the United States saying that he never once has had a conversation with Merrick Garland regarding any of his cases, when his top case involves his son. None of it adds up.
No, especially when you have a top-tier IRS whistleblower, Mr. Shapley, who has said David Weiss did not have full authority to charge Hunter Biden. They totally have this runaround. Could he charge him in California? Could he charge him in the District of Columbia? Or was he confined to just Delaware? That's a big question. The whistleblower has far more credibility on this issue.
Absolutely. And had he charged him in Washington, he would have been charged with a felony, not with a slap on the wrist, which brings us back to our original point. Jason Chaffetz, happy 4th. Always great to see you. Love you, buddy.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.